installing these TREAL axles. Not sure if you can see that for the LMT. When you open your bag up, get your bag of hardware, bearings, your axle, and of course the most favorite part, the most important part, TREAL stickers. Okay, open this up. I've already done one of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and just walk through the other one. They're both fronts because I'm using 4-wheel steering, but it's pretty much gonna be the same. It's actually pretty simple, guys. Like, even though these axles don't come with directions, it's still a pretty simple process. But yeah, just go through a few tips. All right, we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this rear axle. Step 1. Once you've taken your pins out, don't drop your pins, but you can go ahead and slide your steering linkage off. There's your steering linkage. Slide that to the side. Once you get your steering linkage off, you're going to want to go ahead and disconnect your upper and lower forelinks, your shocks, and your limit straps if you have any on, and your sway bars. And once you get all of those disconnected, you'll be able to sit your axle down where you can work on it. Take you step by step on how to take this stock axle apart once you get it off and replace it with the TREAL. So first, we've got our stock axle here. We're going to want to go ahead and take our servo mount off, which is this piece. Now we can go ahead and take these 4 bolts off right here. All right, now as you can see, we've taken these 4 bolts out. Now it is time to go ahead and get your TREAL axle out of the package and get it ready to put the diff that you're taking out of here and putting it into your TREAL axle. Your beautiful TREAL axle, you're going to want to go ahead and put these on. On each side. And both of those pieces come with their own screw pack. Go ahead and bolt those in. All right, we've got our pieces bolted up on each side. Now you're going to go ahead and take these 4 screws out so we can go ahead and put our diff inside there. And once you loosen those, you have, voila, the inside of your new TREAL axle. All right, so go ahead and sit your TREAL axle right to the side for a second. Keep it close. Gonna need it in a second. Here's your factory axle case with our bolts out. Now what you're gonna wanna do when you open this up, you're gonna wanna pay attention to what side your diff is facing, okay? So let's open this up. And I think it's actually gonna sit inside. So it's not gonna sit inside this big part of the case. It's gonna sit inside this, I think it's called the third member. Now pay attention to what side this is on, your diff is on, because you're going to, when you put your diff back into your new TREAL, you're going to want to set it in there the same exact way that it was in the factory one. Okay, so before we do that, we have to take it out of our plastic one here and go ahead and get our TREAL one ready. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and get your third member there. That's what I'm going to call it. Get your third member ready to put your diff in. And in order to do that, you first need to put your bearings in. It comes with 2 bearings with the TREAL axle kit. All right, once you go ahead and get your bearings inside of there, now we can go ahead and take our drive shaft part off here, because that's how we're gonna, tool there. Go ahead and take that off. And like I said, always remember which way this was facing. Okay. So now we're going to take this out. Okay. And we're going to sit this down the same way we're going to face it inside of there. Now you have gained access to your pinion gear. Okay, we're going to take that out. All right. Okay. Now, I've already done one of these axles. Here, let me show you guys. So what I found in conversating with a buddy of mine about these, as we're putting them on our truck, you know, you'll come across a few different things. What he noticed was, based on his, he was having a little play right in here. Okay, that's about as much as you want. You don't want any more than that. Okay, and we've got a smooth axle. But yeah, these kits come with, in the packet, they come with, there's one right there, a shim. There should be 2. You're going to use at least one of those shims. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a shim on it. So now you can go ahead and slide it in here. Okay. Now you can go ahead and put your drive shaft and connect it back on there and see how much play you have. Don't want a lot of play there. All right, let's see what we got here. That's where you want it, right there. You see, that's all the play you're getting. And it spins nicely. Okay, so you're gonna want to put one shim in there. One shim. All right, after we get our drive shaft bolted back up to our pinion gear, we can go ahead and slide this bad boy in here. And as you can see, she's smooth as is, doesn't, you know, I just slid her right into place. I am gonna add a little bit more grease, but that's on you if you want to do that or not. Like I said, she's pretty much good as is. This is the grease I'm using. Vanquish Products High Performance Synthetic Grease works pretty good. I don't think it really matters. But now we can go ahead and bolt this up. Okay, with the supplied bolts it gave us. And we've got that all bolted up. It should spin pretty freely. All right. Next, you can go ahead and put your servo mount back on. These 3 holes right here. All right, and once you got your servo mount, mounted back up, you can get your steering linkages and put them back in place. And all those would do, I would slide one end in, the other side, I would take one out, so pop one of these out like that. Go ahead and slide one in like that. Make sure it gets mounted on there right. Then swing this around like that. Get it close in place. Get your axle that we slid out. You're gonna slide that in. Make sure that pops in place. And then you're gonna swing this back around and slide this in that hole. All right, guys, garage is kind of packed, but there we go. It's slid on. Here's a better look. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. Now we can go ahead and put your pins back in, or if you are doing the Traxxas hack that I have learned about, cut these down to size and slide those in there. I haven't cut them yet. Some actually look like they're already to size, but wow. Some already look like they come the same size as the LMT. So I'll just have to see how those work. But as you can see, that's how you swap out your diff and your steering linkages for your TREAL axle cases. And I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like once I get both axles back on the truck. All right, y'all, we finally got everything buttoned up, front and back axles. Let's go ahead and test it out, see what we got. All right, both going the same way. Get reverse here. All right, let's see what we got steering wise. Crab walk, 4-wheel steer, rear. And if you notice, I have more throw in the front on purpose because I want my front steer to be faster and I don't want my rear steer to turn as much. So I've got it set perfect.